Okay, continuing on the giant EOC review, section 3, find the slope. So if you want the slope, you can use this slope formula right here, which will be provided for you on a formula chart on the STAR test, or you can use the stat button in your calculator. So if we use the formula, we've got -2 minus -5 over 3 minus 2. You can just use the fraction feature, which is what? Alpha y equals enter. To put it in your calculator, it will do the math for you and reduce it for you. So you should get 3. Your slope is 3. Or you can use the stat button. For stat, we're going to go to stat enter. We are going to go, sorry, let me clear this out. We're going to put in our x values. Then we're going to put in our y values. Then we're going to go stat calc 4 because we're doing linear. And the a value it gives you will be your slope. So you can see that it gives you 3. Now find the slope of each function. Well, this is ny equals mx plus b, your slope-intercept form. So the number attached to x is your slope. So your slope's -3. That was quick and easy. This one, though, is in standard form. It is not in slope-intercept form. So the first thing you must do is get y alone. So we do the opposite of the 4x to get rid of it. So we add 4x. We can't actually add because these aren't like terms. So we just write it down. Then we divide by the -3. And we get that y equals -4/3 x minus 2. The question is, what's the slope? So what is your slope? It's the number attached to x. It's -4/3. All right, what is the slope of the line shown? Slope on a graph is rise over run. So we find 2 good points meaning places where it crosses at exactly the intersection of the lines. So I can use any of these points, and I want rise over run. So to get from this point to this one, I rise 3, I run 1. So this slope is 3. Now, we usually reduce it to this most simplified form. And we can see by looking at the line that it's a puff positive, so our answer should be positive. What does the slope represent? Well, we're doing rise over run. That's y over x. What's y? Cost. What is x is time, hours. So what does that represent? 3 over 1 is $3 per hour. So your slope represents the y-axis, the cost, over the hours. So 3 over 1 is $3 per hour. So let's look at section 4, and we're graphing. Now these 3 forms of an equation will be on the formula chart. We cannot graph until it is solved for y, till y's alone. It's in slope-intercept form. So we start with the 1. That's our y-intercept. It goes on the y-axis. You cannot count the slope until you have a point to count from. Your slope is -2, which we could put over 1. We want to have a negative, a nice negative when we're finished. Go down 2 over 1, and then you're going to have a nice negative. There's your graph. Now at this point, you can also use the y equals feature on your calculator. You can put this in y equals, hit graph, and see if your graph is correct. You can also get points from the table, second graph, and make sure you've accurately graphed it. But I can't graph this one because it's not solved for y. It's in standard form. To solve for y, to get y alone, you got to get rid of the 3x. The way I get rid of it is to do the opposite, which is to subtract. 15 is positive, so it gets a plus sign. Divide by -5, and you get that y equals 3/5 x. If you're bad at negatives, put that in alpha y equals enter. Let your calculator simplify it for you. -3. So start on -3 and count up 3 over 5. It should be a puff positive when you're finished. So now you do the bottom half of sections 3 and 4 by yourselves.